always ask, like, when did the bug bite? Like, when was that first moment when you figured, music was your life? Tell us a little bit about the start of Randy Clark.
Well, I had to discover music I had discovered it at a really early age. Just my earliest memories are being getting to the piano, and like as soon as I could bang on the piano keys, I would just hit the piano keys and play it, and then I get my mom to stick me up in a little seat so that I could play. And got my first guitar when I was about 4 years old. So so I started really early, and I grew up in upstate New York where there's not that much to do. You've got to make your own entertainment, I guess. And it just stuck like mad. It was like the one thing that I really stuck with and found a home in, was taking guitar lessons and playing with my friends. I remember like drawing pictures of like Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley and Kiss and being obsessed with them, and then jumping around the house with a broom, and then replace that with a guitar, and before you knew it, like I was off to the races playing.
Yeah. I actually have a photo of me that is kind of infamous in my family of me, I think at like maybe 8 years old, with a bowl cut in full Kiss makeup. And it was weird too. It was sort of like an amalgamation of Paul Stanley and Ace Frehley, who, kind of, I dug them. I was just before I was a drummer. But so I had the, had this like, it's just such a ridiculous homemade costume. It was so 70s Halloween, and it was totally awesome. And I'm standing right next to my sister, and she's dressed like a clown, so sad face, just,
That's
fat
great.
stuffing in
Yeah.
there, and I'm all with like a, with my fake guitar. Yeah, I think we all, if you grew up in the 70s, you had your Kiss moment. I actually have a Kiss. Um, Old school Kiss Army T-shirt with like a ringer tee with the rock and roll over faces on it.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I was a huge Kiss fan. I mean, just because they were so bigger than life and
Yeah,
supernatural and just totally rocked.
yeah,
Um, and then I loved like early Cheap Trick growing up. And then AC/DC, I was obsessed with them.
sure.
And Van Halen. Um, but then, my parents had all of these old like Johnny Cash records and Bob Dylan records, and I remember sitting and discovering those records and being equally enthralled with them, and like thinking that literally like the face of God was Johnny Cash. And
Wow.
that is something that stayed to me to this day. I'm still a huge JC fan. I think I even have a JC shirt
Yes,
on.
you do. I love it. And it's funny too, is like knowing your style, that kind of capitulates it right there. I mean, that's, you've got your distortion pedal and, you've got your twang. And then the sincerity that goes with all of that, of course. And it's great too. Because honestly, it's funny, I have this sort of like my go-to litmus test about people if they really like music or not. Like, and essentially it comes down to if I'm talking to them and I ask them like, well, what kind of music do you like? And they say something like, oh, everything but country. Then I usually go like, yeah, you're probably not very passionate about music because that's just like too stock of an answer, and it really discounts all of the
Yeah,
legend
so much. God, country is like amazing, and country is one of the backbones of rock and
rock
roll.
and roll. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, I mean,
Yeah, it's basically like Appalachian and jazz and then blues. So it all kind of came from that sort of stuff, and it's just disappointing to feel that, and maybe that's because they hear the country of now, which is essentially like pop with a plow, whatever, and
right?
it's
Yeah,
just such
bad pop with a
disappointment.
fiddle, I think Tom Petty said.
What do you say?
Bad. It's like bad rock and roll with a fiddle.
Yeah. And then it just seems like a silly thing to say. It's like every genre has something to offer. I got you can't discount because everybody's somebody's done something good in those genres. I used to hate pop music, and then I think I heard like a Justin Timberlake song or a a I don't even remember what it was, and I was just like, that actually is pretty cool, and I didn't even realize that I was enjoying it. And then I started to grow up a little bit. I think probably it was also I was too cool to like something that was commercial or whatever. And it's just like a silly thing that I think when you're younger maybe you go through, but now I've come to just appreciate it all. I mean, like Queens of the Stone Age is pop. you know, the Beatles or pop. If you really want to get down to like chord structures and all that kind of stuff, it seems like they're all using the same kind of stuff.
Right.
Um, and if it's good, it's good. Really, I think that's essentially what it comes down to. If it's good and you like it, then there it's at. And, you
Yeah.
know, that's why, you know, this I'm wearing this shirt of the band Ween, one of my favorites, who literally do every genre of music, including country. I don't know if you're familiar with their 12 Golden Country Greats album, in which they basically got
I'm
all
not
these
familiar,
session.
no. But I've heard some Ween.
Yeah, I mean, it's really special, and they're very they get kind of a bad rap as being a joke band, and they certainly have that sense of humor element. But they're really sincere and incredibly good musicians. And again, they put out a country record that's made with all these old session guys that you used to play with, like with literally all those people you just mentioned, plus like, you know, they're on the early Elvis Presley records, and just a cool one. I'll have to send that one to you.
Far out. Yeah, I'd love to hear it.